Good morning, guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, welcome to my channel and welcome to today's video. This is the first time I'm sitting down to talk to the camera in almost 2 weeks, and it feels like it's been months at this point. But I wanted to do a little introduction before we got into today's video because I need to tell you guys a little bit of backstory and fill you guys in on a few things before we go ahead and jump into today's video. First and foremost, I did dye my hair dark and I did chop off quite a bit of it to one day before we left for our trip, the day after my birthday. So I do have dark, semi-shorter hair now, and I've been absolutely loving it. Something about this length of hair I feel like is really flattering for me, and the dark hair, for some reason, I feel like sometimes when my hair gets a certain shade of blonde, it really washes me out, which, yes, I know I'm so pale now. I scrubbed off my self-tan in the shower the other day, but something about this like natural brown, this is like the true color of my natural hair. She really got out most of my highlights. Something about this color I feel like really flatters me. So that is the first thing that I wanted to address before we jump into today's video. I don't want you to be like, something looks different. I didn't vlog me getting my hair done, but I did go ahead and get my hair done. Second thing being my voice. I wound up getting sick. I woke up with the start of whatever this sickness is. The day that I decided to film this video, I knew going into this vacation that it was probably going to be very fast paced and a busy vacation, traveling and being on vacation with a lot of kids and family members. So I knew I wanted to film more of like a TikTok style vlog / day in the life style video for our trip. I wanted to do more than one day. However, the first 2 days of our trip were extremely fast-paced. The weather was a little bit on the chillier side those 2 days, and so it was a lot of trying to keep the kids busy, and so I just didn't go ahead and pick up the camera. And then the last full day that we had there, the weather was going to be the nicest that it was going to be all weekend we were there, so I wanted to pick up the camera and film that day. But of course I woke up with a sore throat on that day, so I feel like I started out strong with the video, and then as the day went on, I continued to feel even worse. And so I kept forgetting to pick up the camera. So I did continue it a little bit into our travel day home, which if you guys want me to do a full video about traveling with 3 kids and like my tips and tricks, I can 100% do that for you guys. Just let me know in the comment section down below if you guys want that, or I could do a Q&A. You guys can ask questions about that. But a brief little summary of traveling with all 3 kids. It surprisingly went extremely well. I'm super comfortable traveling with the boys. I've done it by myself for like 3 years. However, this was the first time where they were not going to be in a stroller and they were going to have like free roam of the airport. I'm so glad that Harris was with me. That was the most difficult part of this whole travel day. Lily surprisingly was extremely easy. She did really well on the flight there. On the flight home, she did wind up crying for the entire like 30-minute landing process. I think her ears were really hurting her. For me, the day that we flew home was the worst that I felt. And since I was so congested flying home, my ears absolutely got destroyed. We literally landed in New York, got back to Harris's parents' house. I bathed all of the kids and took a shower myself and headed over to urgent care, where they told me I had an ear infection, which I could have bet money on that. My ear hurt so bad landing. I think the plane was just like not pressurized right. I feel like if they don't do it right, it hurts a lot more going down. So little Lily was in pain for that, but other than that, she was like in and out of sleep on the flights. She ate, she would watch the TV with me. She had the boys to keep her entertained. It was really a great experience flying with 3 kids. However, I am so grateful that I had Harris with me because I don't know if I'd be able to do it myself. I definitely think it's going to be a challenge, but once I cross that hurdle of flying with the 3 kids by myself, I'm sure I'll be fine. I did quickly want to add that the travel day down there, both Harris and I woke up that morning and took one of the Magic Mind mental performance shots that I talked about in my previous video. I have just a few of these left, and we both looked at each other in the morning of us flying down to Florida and we were like, yes, we need to take these. So we did go ahead and take these, and I think it definitely helped us stay like cool, calm, and collected when flying with the kids. I wish I'd packed these for our flight back home. Maybe it would have helped a little bit. I felt a little bit more frazzled on the flight back to New York. I'm sure me being sick had something to do with it, but I definitely wish I packed these with us to bring down to Florida for our flight back home, because I think taking these definitely helped us stay a little bit calmer and cooler and more collected and help us like stay more focused and in the moment with traveling with the 3 kids. I believe my coupon code is still active and live with them. It is Gemstone maybe. I will have it on the screen here. I will also have it in the description box and my live link if everything is still active. I believe you get like 48% off your first month's subscription. Harris and I are still loving these. I definitely want to order some more and stock up on these because I feel a difference. Like him and I both feel a difference when we take these, and so I wanted to remind you guys that we're still loving these. We use these for our travel day down to Florida, and I will have links and codes in the description box if everything is still live for them. But if you guys want me to go more in depth about that, I definitely can. Just let me know. But yes, flying down there went extremely well. The first 2 days were a little bit more hustle and bustle and busy. The 3rd day was the day that I woke up sick. However, I did want to get some content down there for you guys. So that is what we're going to roll into in a minute. It's going to be a like TikTok style voiceover vlog day in my life of one of the days of us down in Clearwater, Florida. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please excuse my voice. I obviously have to film the voiceover like this, so please excuse the congested off-sounding voice of mine for the voiceover. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and with that being said, let's jump into a little day in the life in Clearwater, Florida on a family vacation. So every morning on vacation, little Lily and the boys surprisingly slept really well. They would sleep in until about 7 o'clock. I would get up and feed Lily and then just lay her on the bed, and we would take a very slow start to the morning. Like I mentioned, on this morning, I woke up not feeling well, but Benny also woke up not feeling well, so he really was kind of hard to get out of bed this morning. Here I was showing you guys that I did chop and dye my hair off and that I've been loving it, but I wanted to share with you guys the sleeping arrangement that I did for Lily. We got this crib brought up from like the front desk. They did offer us a mini crib or a pack and play, and then I did wind up bringing our own crib sheet, the Arenti baby monitor that we use back home, and of course a sound machine, and nestling her in the shower like that kind of created like a sound bath, and she slept so well, and it also gave us the freedom to watch movies at night and roam around the room without having to worry about waking her. So I wanted to share that. Like I mentioned, on this morning, Benny woke up not feeling well, and I did have Tylenol with me. However, giving him the Tylenol didn't take away the headache that he had, and he also had a little bit of a fever. So I wanted to run over to CVS and also pick up some Motrin so that I could double up on that, and then we also needed just a few more miscellaneous snacks to get us through the last day there, as well as have stuff to pack in their backpacks for the flight home. So I took little Lily with me. Every morning I would wind up taking her out either on a walk. We stayed at the Sand Pearl in Clearwater Beach, Florida, I believe, and it was super close to like the little town area. CVS was like a 3-minute walk, so I would take her to CVS for the day and grab whatever we needed, or I would walk down to the Starbucks that was at the end of this street and get coffee for Harris and I, or I would just take her on a little walk down the block and back to get her out. So this morning she came with me to CVS, and like I mentioned, I needed to pick up some Motrin for Ben. I should have put 2 and 2 together that he wasn't feeling well and I wasn't feeling well, and we probably were coming down with the same little cold and sickness, but I didn't. I chalked it up to the fact that they always get sick when we fly. However, this is the first time flying that they didn't get ear infections, and I definitely have their tubes to thank for that. So I grabbed what we needed from CVS, and we headed back to the little mini Starbucks / cafe that was down in the lobby of the Sand Pearl, and I picked up coffee for Harris and I and a bagel and croissant for Jack and I to split. Ben didn't really want to eat anything. And by the time that was done, Lily was ready for her first nap of the day. I tried to keep her schedule as consistent as I could. Back home, she normally went down for a nap anywhere between 9 and 10 a.m., and I kept that the same. I found that she would normally take her morning nap in her crib, and then we would kind of go out for the day, and she would take another small nap or 2 here or there while we were out doing an activity, and then I would put her down for another crib nap in the late afternoon before we went out for our dinner reservations to make sure that she was well rested to make it through those dinner reservations. And this kind of lax schedule really worked in our favor for her. I definitely think giving her 1 to 2 crib naps a day allowed for her to get the restorative sleep that she needed, and she was such a happy baby on this trip. I was pleasantly surprised with the ease of traveling with her, and like I said, having her in the bathroom really worked to our favor. So she went down for her nap, and on this day, Harris took the boys down to the pool since their cousins were already down there, and I stayed back with her to relax for a little bit. And then I got myself dressed and ready for the day. This was the nicest day out of our entire trip, and so I wanted to give Lily the chance to wear all of her cute little outfits I packed so that I could get some pictures of her. The 2 days prior to this, it was in the 50s, so we were basically bundled up like we were in New York, wearing sweatshirts and sweatpants. And on this day, I wanted to give her some options for some cute, airy outfits. I wound up waking her up, I believe around 10:45 this day. She would get a good hour and a half nap in the crib at a time. So she got up and got dressed, and then we decided to make our way down to the pool. I wanted to update you guys on this Teddy Blake bag that I mentioned a few videos back. It was a lifesaver on this trip. I was able to fit everything we needed to leave the hotel room, whether it was for an outdoor activity, going to the beach, going to the pool, going on a walk. I was always able to fit everything I needed for her. So we got down to the pool, and I decided to feed her out there on this day. Like I said, the weather was absolutely gorgeous, so we wound up walking down the beach, which the beach attached to the Sand Pearl was a private beach, which was so nice. If we looked down on the other sides of the beach where it wasn't private, it was so chaotic. So I definitely recommend the Sand Pearl if you guys are booking a family vacation down to Clearwater. But after we did that, we really hung by the pool for a good chunk of the day. They had this little kiddie table set out with a bunch of activities and like little toys for the kids. There was slime, there was lollipops, a bunch of little knickknacks that the kids were able to play with throughout the day. There was also a balloon artist. What is that called? I think they have a name. They came around the pool and made like balloon animals for the kids, which was super fun. Lily took another little contact nap on me. And then I really spent the day kind of shuffling her through lounge chairs to keep her in the shade. I did find that her cheeks got a little bit sunburned on this day, but it was nothing too bad. And then after we spent that full afternoon out by the pool, we all headed back up to the room so Lily could take her afternoon nap in her crib. And it usually worked this time of day. The boys typically were tired themselves, so we would all just relax in the hotel room to rest up before dinner reservations. And so she took another good hour and a half nap, and then we got the kids ready. I got myself ready. I wound up wearing these little shorts that were a part of the set I shared earlier, with this little sweater from Shein, some sandals from Shein, and I threw my hair up. I didn't put any makeup on because, like I said, as the day went on, I progressively felt worse. Little Lily took another nap at dinner. She typically would do this, and then I was able to enjoy my dinner. Jack said he wanted to vlog, but these were the clips that he wound up taking. He thought it was super funny that he was taking not so good clips of me. He thought it was hysterical. But the boys were usually pretty good at dinner. Dinner reservations did always run a little bit later. I forgot to show you guys my food, but I did get a margarita and a Diet Coke. And then we'd head back to the hotel room. Every night we'd put on a movie for the boys, and they absolutely loved being able to stay up late with Harris and I and watch movies. We would get snacks and hang out. And then we had to go to bed pretty early this night because the next morning we had to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to head over to the airport to head home. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing a little snippet of our Clearwater family trip. It honestly was an amazing trip. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in my next video.